what you want? And are you getting what you need?
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming back. And we are, of course, No Means No Thing, No Means Nothing podcast. And this is our second extra special episode. Hopefully we will have surprised some of you in the feeds on the off week. And this week, we have an extra special 3 guests, 3-headed monster. And the rest of my other 2 co-hosts will introduce themselves, and then we'll let you know. So
this is Jordan.
Michelle.
And joining us all the way from other parts of the city that I am in are Byron, Adam, and Hans, Invasives.
Hello.
Something like that.
Thank you very much for having us. This is awesome.
Oh man,
wonderful.
Thank you for joining us. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Nice to see people's faces.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And nice to see you, Matthew, and nice to put a face to Jordan and Michelle there.
Yeah. You've seen me before. You boys have seen me before.
Well, you look
frothing in the front row.
And now that I'm seeing your face and hearing your voice, I'm going, I do know you.
Yes, you know. Last time
the memories come
me,
flooding back.
Oh man, last time you saw me was that fucked up show in Tacoma at that teacup place.
Oh my god!
I had just moved to Washington, and Brad and Carl took me there, and I got inebriated.
That doesn't seem like you.
We all did.
But no, I got so sick the next day. It was bad.
Oh,
but
man.
it was such a fun night out. Oh my god! You remember that teacup place?
Yeah. Was there multiple shows in different rooms going on that night?
Not that I know.
No. There was just like 4 bands in a small space. That's all.
Yeah.
It was okay because I remember the front room something was going on, but it wasn't at the show where Sabrina Bastard. Do you guys remember the opener? She just stuck
that
with me,
bass player, the bass player girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know her?
Well, I talked to her that night. I don't know her. No.
I was a little worried about her.
Yeah,
No. She. Oh my god. She scared me.
She was unhinged.
Yeah.
Totally.
That was one of the most fucked up things I've ever seen, and I was like worried that she was like gonna kill herself on the stage in front of everybody. It was bad.
That's the vibe she was putting off.
Yeah.
Yikes.
No joke. Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah. Awesome. Now that you guys have sniffed bums, that's fantastic. So we're going to hopefully do a little bit more organized reminiscences tonight. You guys, I know that Adam and Byron, you both have listened to our podcast before. Hans, I'm not sure whether you have or not.
I have. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of know the shtick a little bit. I don't know whether we're going to do what we're drinking, because that'll probably take us halfway into the thing. I don't know if you guys want to do that or not.
Oh yeah, we gotta do that.
Okay.
I picked something so I could give a shout out.
Well, then we gotta fucking do it. Yeah. What do you got, Byron? You're up.
Well, this is for my cranky bastard of a friend, Matthew Giesbricht. I'm drinking a Steamworks Pilsner. And hey, Matt, if you're listening to this out there, fuck you.
Nice.
Love you, buddy.
That's funny. This is not a plug for Steamworks, but I also have a
Steamworks.
Look at that.
The hazy IPA. Now, Matthew, I know you don't like IPAs, or it was one of you, Jordan or Matthew?
No, that was Michelle.
No offense. Oh, it's Michelle's. Okay.
Also
no offense, but I got a hazy IPA
None taken.
here.
None taken.
Thank you.
Some of them are good. The ones that taste like grapefruit juice are really good.
It's okay. She's just sitting there silently judging you. It's not a problem.
Not at all.
Well, cheers.
So am I next on the drink list here?
You're next. You're up.
So I have a fridge full of Steamworks lager, but I thought that's too boring. So I opened it.
Ooh, look at that.
That one's chewy.
Wild IPA from Four Winds. It's delicious. Now, being in the Pacific Northwest, you get certainly worn out on IPAs, but this is still one that I really enjoy. And
nice.
look at the color of that. Wow.
Oh, beautiful.
What is that? A 55-gallon drum?
A little
awesome.
forearm workout there. Nice.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Michelle, what
Matthew,
you got?
Yeah, Michelle. Oh, yay, mother's
Oh.
milk.
Of course.
Hey, just
The
why
classic.
not?
Pour it
Why
in your
not?
Lucky Charms. And Matthew, what about you? Oh, there's that sound.
Well, I brought this one special and cooled it down, even though my fridge is broken. I put it in a bucket of ice. I've been living in fear of this one. We'll see how it is. The 241 Minzeweizen from Faculty Brewing Company. It is it's got mint in it, so we'll see how that goes.
Ooh, that could be good.
Jesus.
And I'm the only non-beer guy. I've got my my foofy brandy substitute, the Armagnac here. I'm going to kill this bottle by the time we're done with the podcast, probably. So
Oh, nice.
Which I've never heard of until I heard the podcast. Learning
it's delicious shit. It's delicious shit, I got to say. Chug, chug, chug.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Not sure about that. Okay.
Well, it's
Yeah.
too late. Too
Yep.
late. Got to drink it.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
does he? No, he can go
Of course
on
he
and get
does.
another one.
That's all good.
Those are
It's
the
okay.
rules. I don't make the rules.
Usually wheat beer's got coriander in it, so I figured mint might not be that much of a stretch, but it's a little stretchier than I expected.
I was going to be having some bourbon this evening, but I did this thing where last night a couple friends stopped by, and it was summer solstice, and so the sun went down, and then I spent like 2 hours outside, and I came inside to make dinner, and it was like 1:30 in the morning after cocktails outside. I was like, what have I done? I got to go to bed. I got to go to work tomorrow.
Oh shit.
So, yeah.
So how should we
Happy
begin this
Sunday.
thing? We shouldn't assume that everybody knows who Invasives are, although everyone should know who Invasives are.
Right.
I don't know if you guys want us to do a quick little bullshit rundown on who you are and why you're here, or whether you guys want to do it yourselves.
No, I mean,
Well, yeah, let's hear what you got to say.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
It's really not much. Just that I saw Married to Music, which is a band with a different, shittier name that used to play in Vancouver.
yeah.
It's the former
Correct.
name of Invasives, and they think that too. I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a bad
yeah.
name. Yeah.
It was bad on purpose. It's okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad on purpose. Yeah.
So, the occasional time when you go and see a band and they surpass the band that you went to see, that's the opener, and you haven't heard of them before, and they kind of blow the band out of the water. So that happened with the Octopus Project when I went to see Man or Astroman, and it actually happened. Maybe I wasn't in the mood in 2004, I believe, at Richards on Richards, where you guys were opening for No Means No, and I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? And you did it proud.
tight.
It was amazing, and I've been a fan ever since.
Hey,
That's very
right
nice.
on.
So originally from Hope, British Columbia, is that correct for all of you? I'm not sure if for Hans as well.
Nope. Byron and I were born in Hope, but then moved in 1986 to South Surrey, and that's
Okay.
where. And then Hans, you were born in Winnipeg, right?
Winnipeg, yeah, and moved to same community, South Surrey, in 1990.
Look at
All right,
you,
so they're those
Canadian
guys.
guys.
Crawling all over each other to do something fun in South Surrey, and they Married to Music was born.
Yeah.
Pretty
And,
much, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, six albums deep now, 6.5.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
of the Vancouver area's most venerable and productive and consistent bands, I would say. In my opinion, you have evolved a lot since the beginning. We're very, very reminiscent to me of Helmet, which is probably why I liked you to begin with.
Yes.
But definitely have found your own voice, and Byron learned to sing
Yeah.
instead of scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It works sometimes. I was going to just say that Teapot show. I remember being so disappointed in myself because we went down to do this tour of the U.S. And by the second show, my voice sounded like somebody letting air out of a balloon by squeezing it really hard.
Oh no.
Just like totally blown out, which isn't too uncommon for me to run into. Yeah. But
Yeah, awesome.
yeah,
So
I learned how to sing someday.
Invasives kind of became, I don't know, fairly associated with No Means No in some way, and you guys supported them on a bunch of tours through the States and Europe, I believe.
None in the States.
Oh, none in the States. Okay.
Yeah. none of the States.
So very close to supporting the Hanson brothers in the States.
Mm.
And it was a bit of a shit show. I can't remember what year that was. If Hans would probably remember, he's good at this. 2010. something like that.
Maybe a little before, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was some floods in like North Dakota or like something like that, and then we had a handful of dates that we were going to go down, and we threw the towel in the end, so we didn't get to the States with them.
Okay.
So
So
you're up in a bit of Canada.
How'd you end up getting on bills with them to begin with? And, 2004, I'm sort of guessing at that show, for, Riches on Richards, your first album came out in 2003, I believe.
Yep.
But that's around about the time when you started at 2003, 2002, something like that?
Yeah, well, we can say. I mean,
So-
unless Hans wants to throw in something.
Yeah, well, the band was established in South Surrey in 2001 and put out our first record in 2003 as Married to Music, and did 2 albums as Married to Music. Mm-hmm. And then with the help of No Means No, urged us to change the name. And
Yeah,
they did.
like
They
a
helped
story.
us with that. It is kind of, I guess, but they had sort of said we had done some tours with them as Married to Music, and they were kind of like, we'd love to do some more things with you guys, but we all want to. You want to think about maybe changing the name? And others had approached us before about.
I can't believe they said that.
No. It wasn't good. Yeah, I mean, that's a terrible band name. And there had been others that urged us to do the same, and it was always like a thing people would bring up before anything. It would be like, so what's with the name? And we kind of got sort of sick of talking about it. And we were fighting it for a while. I was like, no, this is a thing. It's just sort of like, no, we're this. This is us. This is okay. And then when No Means No kind of came in and was like, you really maybe should think about changing it. Then we were kind of like, oh, fuck, we should do it.
Downright embarrassed, probably. Wow.
We were sticking to guns, man. It was like we had this name that we chose because it was the most uncool, unrock and roll name you could possibly have.
Right.
And we were like, no, this is what we need. We want to disassemble the entire, rock show.
Sounded like a lounge band name, really.
Well, that was the problem.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they said. I think the line was at some point, if you guys look, we want to take you to Europe. You got to change your name now. People are going to think you're a cabaret act. Nobody's going to go see a punk rock show at the Punk Rock Squat if there's a squat just down the street with a band called, Skullhead or something. They're going to go, I'm going to go see the punk rock band, not whatever that is. And so we were like, okay, fair.
I kind of liked it because it was NMN and MTM, right? So.
Hey, I never thought about that.
That would have been a cool shirt.
So how did you first get on bills with No Means No?
It's Removal.
Well, Removal.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. For sure,
So
Removal.
Removal took us on our very first tour in 2003, summer of 2003. First time we actually left town and had a string of shows and made fast friends with them. They're amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, I think since 97 or so, they had been touring with No Means No, 97, 98, something like that. So they were like really close with those guys. And by 2004, I think that it's probably Ernie Hawkins, that the drummer from Removal, who maybe mentioned that they should take a listen and maybe have us play with them. So we did, I think it was like 5 or 6 shows in the interior of British Columbia with Hanson Brothers. Was that right, guys?
That was the first intro. Yeah, well, Ernie was playing with the Hansons, and he was.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Ernie,
That's
Ernie
what it
playing
was,
with the
and he
Hansons.
said, "Hey, we should do some things together. Let me ask John and Tom and Rob what they think." And they said, "Yeah, sure, bring them out." And that's where it all started, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. That's a good pedigree to begin with, like starting out with Removal, who kind of already played with No Means No and everything like that. But,
Yeah, right.
I'm sure touring might have been a little different. I mean, I'm sure they gave you a boost, but do you think that you might have been received a little differently had you not been on those sorts of bills? Like, how are you received by the fans?
By their fans or by fans? I mean,
They were probably fans of No Means No first.
Yeah.
You would think.
Well,
Some
No
nights.
offense.
What a fun job to get to warm up the No Means No crowd. It was like so awesome of an opportunity to play in front of so many wonderful fans of music. It was a challenge every night, and most of the time it worked out we would get, halfway through the set or tour, and it was great. Everyone was rocking with us most of the time. It worked. Yeah, for sure.
But we were
yeah.
like asking us that question is kind of funny for us to answer, because we were like overzealous kids in our 20s that, like, by the end of the night we didn't expect anybody to remember us. It's like once, like, the Hanson Brothers would do their set.
I've seen you play. How could you not remember what the fuck you just saw here?
But we would be an audience. We would be an audience member after our set for the Hanson Brothers.
Right,
so
right.
We were finishing the show as an audience member.
Right.
So we never thought, like, oh my God, we're gonna come back to Kimberley, BC, and somebody's gonna remember us. We never crossed our mind. Yeah.
What about Ljubljana, Slovenia? Or so.
Oh my goodness! That was some of the best shows we've played in Europe.
Wow.
After being there with No Means No, this wonderful city and incredible people, and we were showed such. People were way too nice. We're just three dinks from the Fraser Valley, and the how kind they were to us was very humbling. Yeah.
Excellent.
And probably just because they're like, let's do our No Means No friends a favor and make sure these guys have a fan.
Right.
That we clap at their show.
Not true.
So
Nice.
So what's your to dig a little bit farther back? Like, what was your? Because I don't know the answer to this question at all. What was your kind of origin story with No Means No prior to going along as a supporting act? When did you guys encounter them? Like how early on? What was your first exposure to them? I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah, I think that mine's actually it's very funny because I'm older than these two guys, and right when Nirvana broke, and we were living in South Surrey, and so we're like, not exposed to any kind of, there was no bands playing. I was like 14 years old. Nirvana comes out. Wow, people then recognize, oh, there's like this whole other thing. But all of us are kind of just these. It was not something that we were thinking about or thought about until we really came to meet them. But a friend of mine gave me a cassette tape. He's like, hey, if you like that Nirvana band, you should listen to this. And he gave me like Dead Kennedys Frankenchrist. And then on a blank tape, on one side was Why They Call Me Mr. Happy. And on the other side was Gross Misconduct. But he never told me that there was any connection between these two bands. And so and it was a strange experience. Like, they didn't sound like anything. Because I was listening to other stuff like Rollins Band or Helmet and like learning about what rock was. And I was like, Black Flag, sure. But this band, and I thought those were the only two albums by this band. I never tried to find anything. I never was searching anything out. I'm spending most of the time, going around vandalizing the neighborhood with a handy cam and using, songs like I came across Lard. So I was like, great, I'm going to put this music on top of us jumping into dumpsters and being crazy teenagers. But then it wasn't until we met Removal and Ernie was like, oh, we tour with No Means No. And I'm like, oh, wow, they had that band with that great album? And he's like, they have lots of albums. I was like, they do? Okay.
Wow.
And then after that, he's like, and yeah, so I was playing drums with the Hanson Brothers, and I'm like, you know those guys too? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's like really coming from a place of the three of us just not really understanding how the world works.
That's great.
They're younger guys, I guess. Maybe that's got
totally,
to do with
totally.
it.
And like being Byron's brother, when he got that cassette tape, I'm like a few years his junior, so I'm like 12 years old, and I hear that tape with Hanson Brothers, and I had no reference for pop punk. I had no reference for No Means No. Super over my head. But the one song, Slowly Melting, is a song that's super like just the vibe, the whole feeling of that song, like stuck in my bones. Where it's like, that's the only song from that tape that was like, so that's like my first introduction to No Means No is that song. Which is hilarious to think. It's like that far along, we are young guys, but we're old now, but we were young guys then.
Whippersnappers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Whippersnappers when that was
yeah, I was 10 years old in '91, so missed pretty much anything that was cool in the '80s. And then No Means No flew way under my radar. Our circle of friends didn't really listen to No Means No, and yeah, it was just one of those things. And then being on the road with Removal and them sort of saying like what Byron said,
Wow.
what have you not heard of No Means No? And it was like, oh my god, the whole freaking world like exploded. It just exploded my brain to have like, holy cow, just opened up everything. And basically, you know, that was 20 years ago. So it's like it's been 20 years solid of listening to them. It was like mind blowing. It was like, how did I like, you guys have your stories of riding your bike, like listening to No Means No when you're young in your teenage years. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't have any of that. It was like in my early 20s when it blew my mind and was like, help me progress as a musician. You know, just was like, oh my god, okay, there's all these songs. It's like, holy shit, all this stuff exists. We have to be like so much, you know, you have to like really try to be in a really good band. It's really hard when there's all these, you know what I mean? Like damn.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we suck. But it's like I see Michelle has the Victims Family shirt. That was another one of those bands that Removal was like, we were just on tour with those guys. Check them out. But it was funny because Bill was like, you gave me your record at that show when I met you. I went home, I put it on. My wife came downstairs and she goes, is this Victims Family? And he's like, immediately got on the phone with me and was like, hey, so you want to do a show? And so we went and did a show with them. And then after that show, he called us the next day and he's like, you guys want to do a tour? And we're like, we got to buy a van. Like, we didn't have a van. Like, we hadn't even thought about this stuff
incredible.
Yet. And literally from that point, it was on the road with them. And then with like Hanson Brothers, Circle the Wagons. And we're, you know, on SNFU's label and doing shows with them. And it was just like, go. And we just did the best we could to
you got thrown in the deep end.
enjoy it. It was great. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So let me ask this. I gotta ask this at some point in this discussion, so I'll just ask it now. At any point where you're like, holy fuck, I don't want to play drums in front of that fucking guy. Oh my god. I mean, were you ever like so self-conscious where it's like, I know nothing, I suck, don't look at me, don't listen to me, you guys
No, because they're so wonderful. Like, they're awesome. John is so awesome. And he was always so supportive of us. Like, really, like talked about like the set after the show with us, about our set, which is really cool. And like, such an approachable guy, and like, you're right though. I would play drums and then go and watch him like side beside the drum kit and be like, "This is fucking awesome! It's like the best." And doing that, 25 shows in a row, it's just like, oh my, it's amazing. So you always felt good doing it, always, because it was just such an honor and an experience, right? So yeah.
That's great. I wouldn't clink a fork on a plate next to that guy. I'd be scared shitless, man.
I really like that story.
Yeah, we got to.
You were inspired by him rather than discouraged. That's
completely.
In a way too, because it's like they are this, like, if you think of like a magnificent painter, we got really good at painting a square. So it's like we got really good at that. So when we were doing it, we were confident at painting that square. So it's like we were okay and comfortable doing that.
You're just doing your thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
No, that's great.
And then No Means No's like cubism.
Yeah, but then them like Removal very much so. Like, here's the context of shows. This is how you do this. It's like, hey, you're going to need to get pickups in your guitar that are single coil humbuckers because you're picking up every train station in Europe, every single show we play. It sounds terrible. And like showing,
Spinal
I remember
Tap.
John, totally. Or like John showing Hans like, no, it's like, this is how you'll get a better stage sound from tuning your drum this way. Or, just
totally.
always
awesome.
Encouraging to the point of where, like, we're just following them around pre-GPS in Europe, going very far east, and getting lost out there with them. And we were just having the time of our lives. And looking back at some photos recently that I know Jason's going to be, we'll see if he includes some of them in his book, is I can see how they were like, we don't know where we are, and these guys are just having the time of their lives, which they kept that facade very, very well put together for us, where we felt like this. I was like, this is normal, right?
Here.
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
Wow.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, having become a fan of you guys and subsequently become friends, especially because we live in the same place. As my interest in going out to shows kind of withered, and I kept going to Invasive shows, and it was largely because you guys sort of, people who like Invasives, it's a different sort of fans. I feel comfortable there, and people aren't jerks ever. Or very rarely. So I kind of wonder, as he's telling your stories about touring with No Means No and everything like that, whether they, you guys are clearly nice, intelligent guys, like to have fun and everything like that, but you're also very serious about like playing better and, taking the show seriously and everything like that. So I wonder whether touring with those guys, if they're kind of much talked about work ethic as a working band, whether that influenced you early on.
Yeah, it did. And when we like with Byron and Hans, like mentioning things with the drums, things with the guitar pickups, stuff like that, like in recalling that now, the only person who would really do that is John, right? Who would actually talk about those types of things. Who would point it to it kind of if Byron and Hans agree with me, but I think he was really the guy who would go like, hey guys, like this is something that I've noticed. Like being the bass player in Invasives, I never talked about bass guitar with Rob once. He never talked about it. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't care to. But John would notice details like that. Do you remember that, Byron or Hans? John would really be kind of in tune.
Rob would just be like, I don't know, is it loud? Great. Then just play as loud as you can.
I'm gonna go golfing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a coffee.
Yeah, and John would notice the details. And
wow,
it was he was helpful, John, big time for us to point out, like, hey guys, like try this.
Yeah,
how about that?
It's funny now because like having this conversation, it's like we are fans, but then like becoming friends with those guys over the last 20 years, it seems like it's a weird place. It's like we're talking about somebody who, like, just to be like, when they listen to this, if they do. But it's like, it's a funny thing to sort of be like having this conversation about people who musically I can have this conversation. But then there's like this other piece of it where it's like, hey man, how you doing on the phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And
right.
the personal side is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I actually have had to compartmentalize that because I'm a massive fan, but the last thing I want to be doing is like, so like, did you do that one thing on purpose? Like, yeah, it's nice to see you and all. But this one question has been bothering me in my geekdom. And, yeah, so just that piece is really funny to me, is having a moment with that now.
Wow.
Well, after we're done this podcast, we will be vivisecting you, so...
Okay.
the invasive casting.
And you guys were in a removal, like, were you? I love that removal video. It's you two, the brothers, right? Byron and Adam. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Have you seen this fucking video? Oh my god!
Oh, I think we're gonna have to link that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
please do. It's fucking hilarious. It's Byron and
have a
Adam
hard time
with
shooting
wigs
that
on.
video.
Oh, I know. They're headbanging, taking a
Yeah.
bath, putting their deodorant on. Oh god, it's great. Oh, it's
There's
fucking hilarious.
There's that one shot of my armpit that is very
Oh
deceiving.
yeah, that looks like an ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your neck, oh my god. And then you got in the car and we're driving in the car with your head
That was
banging.
dangerous.
I
Yeah,
know.
that was no trick photography there. That
Oh
was
god,
real.
it's so
Oh, that's
funny.
great.
I forgot about that video.
Oh my god.
Have to
I
go
love
watch it.
that video. Yeah, link that up. It's hilarious.
So we have asked our listeners to submit. We kind of gone over the origin story and a little bit about, if you wanted to say more about this, and that's great too. But origin story, what no means to you. But this is kind of where I figure you guys will probably have a lot to talk about, as long as we don't do too many spoilers for the wonderful book that's coming up. But no means no stories that mean a lot to you or that you remember real in a crystalline sort of way. That'd be great to hear about that sort of
That'll
stuff.
get nobody in trouble.
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh man.
Oh, I don't mean to put you on the spot either, but
I'm just trying to think. There's the one thing I think about touring with the Hanson brothers, and John won't pull the van over if you have to pee.
What?
And-
What? He just makes you pee in a bottle or some shit?
No, I would have happily peed in the bottle.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have a bottle. Also, you're around a bunch of
Did you wet your
folks that
pants?
I might not. No, I didn't wet my pants.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I almost did though. I
A little
almost did.
dangle
I
out
had to
the
get to
window.
point, like just stop. Watching just like gas station after gas station go by, and are we gonna stop at one of these sometime soon? I'm hoping.
Holy shit.
He's like, oh no, I don't have to pee.
Well, then you pee
yeah.
on him. Say now you do.
Maybe that would be the move to do for future reference.
Wow. Was it different touring with the Hanson brothers than it was with No Means No? Was there a different vibe, or were they more like jacked when they were the Hanson brothers and a little more subdued when they were No Means No guys?
That's a good question. I never really thought about that.
Rob loves doing the Hanson brothers because he's like, I don't have to sing. I can just
Right.
and rip it up every night, and it's not like, because
Yeah.
No Means No is arduous.
Rob's more full of joy on the Hanson Brothers tours for sure.
Oh,
So
interesting.
is John. John's having a freaking party. He's a fucking
That's
party
true,
man.
too.
Yeah, that's
for
pure
sure.
distilled John, I
For
think.
sure.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah,
like, I
right.
don't got to play drums. It's perfect. I just can drink and sing and have a fucking party. It's great.
Right,
You're
right.
gonna be sweating so bad.
Well, you know what's
And
a
funny?
good
in
sweat.
the leather jacket and the fucking hockey mask. Oh my god! And I've gone into the dressing room after those Hanson Brothers shows. Let me tell you.
Oh,
So,
yeah. There's a wonderful story from.
I love them to death, but wow.
Yeah.
You know the Hanson Brothers "It's a Living" live album recorded
Yeah.
in Coaldale outside of Lethbridge. We were on the bill that night as Married to Music. It was one of the early shows that we played with them. B.A. Johnson was also on the show that night, and Mr. Plow. There it is. Yeah.
Nice one, Matthew.
And we returned there when I was playing drums for the Hanson Brothers, and Chicks Dig It was on the bill as well. And it was
Chicks dig it.
this bar out in the middle of nowhere called Good Old Boys. And it was so funny because all we did is we always did, and I watched those guys come in and they load up all their sweaty gear. And it was the end of literally like 20 shows in Canada.
Oh
And
no!
The guys from Chicks Dig It,
was
oh, it's
fucking
so bad.
right.
They wouldn't come into the green room, and on stage they're like, yeah, so it's been nice hanging out with all of you tonight and having drinks before the show. We can't go into the green room because it just smells like old man balls.
Oh,
And I was like, how are these guys going to take that? And they were just like, yes, it does.
Yes, it does. That is accurate information.
they're giving a shit. That's why they smell like that.
And if the listeners don't know Chicks Dig It, they are the absolute sweetest guys. KJ is like one of
Super
them.
nice
So
guy.
it would have really taken a real serious pong being like a nice Canadian, particularly nice Canadian, to mention it at all. So, woo!
That must have been real bad. Nice.
But I think the vibe on the Hanson Brothers tours is a lot lighter because even like how
I
how
would
Tom
assume
plays
it would be.
how Tom plays with the Hanson Brothers too. It's like his
he's just-
headspace. Yeah, and like being in the fun zone the whole time. And now in retrospect, you're right. I've never actually thought about that, but it's very true. It is way lighter.
I bet.
And yeah. And a little more goofy off, like while the show's not happening too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
For
Did
sure.
you guys
Yeah.
play referees when you were done with your set? Did you get roped into that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think it was in
Hans,
Hamburg.
Hans, you never did a ref?
I was never the ref, but they, Byron and Adam, I had to jet out from a tour early, which led to them seeing Byron play drums,
Right.
and which got Byron into the Hanson Brothers. So I had to leave, and these guys had to fill like 5 days as a duo, and they called themselves the Linesmen, and they dressed as the refs. And did at least handful of shows, and then we're on stage as the refs for the Hanson Brothers after, and that's where Rob and John really saw Byron play, and they were like, "Holy fuck and shit, that guy can play drums and sing and do all those things. It's crazy. And then he got into the Hanson Brothers. There you go, right? Yeah, but the linesman, you guys were called.
Play drums, sing, but can you put a cabbage in a bag?
Well, that was goddamn. The fucking cabbage in the bag almost killed me 1,000 times.
Yeah, with the giant sparklers in it.
Yeah, it was like almost impaled. The John went to get this cabbage, and it was on the rider. So it was like you show up, and there needs to be sparklers, and there needs to be a cabbage and a bag. And sometimes the bag wouldn't show up, so I'd use my gig bag. But literally, like, I got lit on fire one time. Like falling off tables. It was ridiculous. But like being a linesman, we got worked over by the audience. I got my shoulder dislocated in Hamburg, I think, like pulled right out of the socket. I went to grab it, and it was like, no! Adam had to help me put my shirt on for like the rest of the tour.
The audience would slowly get more angry with you, and as you were kind of playing the part to like yell at the audience too. As soon as
tears were streaming down his face.
Yeah, I think it was Rink Rat in the set, Rink Rat, where John would jump in the crowd, and we had to chase him. And that's when the audience would get their hands on us, and then it was like pretty gnarly. It was like, Jesus, these people have been waiting for this. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one time we're like chasing John through an audience of like 400 people, and John is just like plowing through people, and Adam's right on his tail, and it's like, we're not pretending, we are going fast. And then John trips and like wipes out, and I see him wipe out, and I see Adam wipe out over top of him, and then I'm falling down over top of him. Just total disaster. It's like not part of the show, part of the show.
Oh, damn. Happy accident.
Really funny. Happy accident.
Shit.
And hilarious accident.
Funny.
I suppose you could blame it on the accident.
Byron, we saw you play. Me and Matthew went to the New Year's Eve show. So last time, oh my God, and I had no idea you played drums. I was like, what the fuck's Byron's like? The fucking drums. That show was as close to the Hanson Brothers as you can ever get. You guys were superb.
Oh, thanks.
It was amazeballs. I had no idea you played the drums like that. And you got the hardest part, obviously, with playing the Ramon shit. Oh my God, it was great.
That was a great night.
Very impressive.
Yeah. We can talk about how many people were in that venue now, because unfortunately the Buddha is no longer a venue. But I think that it has capacity for legally like 80.
80. It was 400
like,
easily.
More than 80 more than people.
Yeah. There was like damn near 500 people at that venue.
Oh, shit.
One toilet. I remember that the most because I spent my whole time in line.
With signs all over it saying, don't shoot up in here, take a piss and get the fuck out.
So, yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
People got to keep it moving. Or just pee in the garbage can. Come on.
Right. There you go. True enough.
Christ.
John style.
Wow. No, that was an awesome concert, man. Actually, I got the poster hanging up in my living room.
Oh, you do?
I see your name every day. Yeah.
Oh, my name's on that poster?
Yeah, you want me to go get it?
I have one from the Biltmore show.
No, I got the one from the Buddha show.
I never saw those.
Oh my God, I should send it to you, seriously.
Oh, send me a picture.
Would you like that poster? I'll send it to you.
No. You keep that poster. No, I've got stuff. You keep it.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate
But I
that.
do have it. I took it off the wall. But if you don't have it, fuck, you were laying it down that night.
Indeed.
Michelle's like one of those Near Eastern families that you walk in and say, "Oh, I really like your rug," and next thing you know, she's rolled it up and shipped it to you. You got to be real careful because.
Would you also like this third-born child?
Exactly. She will take this shirt. She has literally taken the shirt off her back and mailed it to me. I have it there.
Yes, I can't fit into that anymore.
No,
shit.
I know, but yeah.
That was a small girly shirt.
But like that microphone looks pretty nice though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this microphone and me have a complicated relationship. I am way too loud on this podcast. I want to put some pantyhose over it or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, we'll get you an audio interface. We'll get you an audio interface with some gain on it. We'll get it taken care of. I figured it out in the edit. So no means no related, and something else we ask people because we're working our way towards the stupid fucking task of the best No Means No song of all time, of which there is no such thing, clearly. But for each of you, what do you have a song or album? I know it's impossible to pick and it probably moves all the time like it does for us, but do you have a song you return to a lot, a song you guys consider your favorites?
Yeah.
So many. It's really tough because like it would be easy for me to pick a favorite song off each album.
Right.
And like when a band spans decades, it's like you go Mama to Ausfahrt, you're like, well, what the fuck? You guys have a task ahead of you. That's hard, man. That's
real hard.
Really, really hard. So that's really I've listening to your podcast has actually made me go back and actually listen to certain albums differently. Which is really cool because because No Means No, not being on streaming services, their music, like, it's like at our fast paced lives and doing things. And like, it's, I'm not breaking out the iPod or my CDs or my albums all the time. The pace at what I listen to is different.
Yeah.
So
if it's not accessible, you're not going to access it. Yeah.
Exactly. So it kind of pisses me off that it's not, somebody hasn't gone, here's the new platform for No Means No, but your guys' podcast has really made me go, oh man, I'm gonna listen, because I know the song you're talking about, like so specifically, and the album, that I re-listen to it with kind of new ears. It's really cool. I really enjoy that, and I could easily pick a favorite song off an album, but to pick a favorite song is impossible.
Yeah, it's hard. It's an impossible task.
Yeah, totally.
It is. Yeah.
I wrote down a few that stick out for me.
Let's hear it.
Like Dark Ages, Oh No Bruno, Two Lips. Like those
nice.
And I love like Victory. But like live, and then you go live and you're like, fucking Humans live is so rad.
Yeah.
And obviously Big Dick is so fun live.
God.
Others are maybe better as a listening experience, and then when you're standing right in front of them, so it kind of moves. Like Slugs Are Burning out of like newer stuff or whatever. I love that one live. So I'm like you guys. I go around. I don't know if I could pinpoint it, but there's so many standouts. It's such an amazing catalog. It's so fun to. And I'm like Adam. I'm kind of listening to some of your episodes and getting like I have to pull out my CDs too. Like I only have a few records. I listen to records at home and then streaming out on the road or whatever. And so I got to pull my CDs out for No Means No and make a habit of putting them on so I can hear it. But yeah, there's so many songs.
Well, I mean,
Byron?
any day, right? We're all waiting for this Alternative Tentacles re-release. We're hoping any day it's going to hit Spotify.
Yeah.
So should
Yeah.
bring in a new generation, because I think you're right. It's fucking hard to get people into it because it's only on YouTube. You can find this shit really in a meaningful way. Anyway, Byron, what about you?
I was complaining to Rob about them not being on those platforms, and he was like, well, you put it up there then.
He can't be bothered, man.
Yeah.
I think it was like, hey, you put it up there. Send me a check. Like, see what happens. And I'm like, are you going to sue me? What's going to happen here? But
this is not enough of a check.
Yeah, this is not enough of a check.
Can't even get a tea time with us.
For me, it's like, I don't know. I've Got a Gun. It's one of my favorite songs.
Oh,
Graveyard Shift is amazing. I like it more live because I like what it develops into. There's so many. Life in Hell, fucking just.
Oh, please
bang.
So
marry
good.
me. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, that
See?
song.
Right there. There's a fan.
Great song.
Oh my god.
Just like doing things that nobody else has the imagination or the capabilities to like even just go there, which brings me to Dance with the Headless Bourgeoisie. I got a bone to pick with you, crew, and that has to do with the stinky little pinky. Now, that lyric is very significant to me in that song because it brings forward what that song is actually about. And it's about...
Did you put your pinky in your ass?
Well, I started there, but that's not where I ended up.
Are you the reason why they said that? I wouldn't put it past you, buddy. Yeah.
Well, hold on. While I'm saying this, let me just...
No, please don't. Oh, no. I just no.
Oh, listeners, please count your blessings that you're not on Zoom with us.
The whole... To me, the idea that you would have the audacity to say something like that in a song, first off, it's like if you're going to tell that guy that he can't say that, dare you approach him when he's absolutely unhinged and screaming, blow up your head, he sounds so scary. It's like, to me, it is so character involved that it has this, it does this transcendence where it doesn't matter what's being said. That person who is unwell enough to be actually exercising this on another person doesn't give a rat's ass about whether what they're saying is eloquent or not. And I really like that that's where that ended up in that song. And it's about his daughter, that part of the song. So it's so defiling. It's terrible.
Yes.
And it's also like, you know, really, yeah, it's
it shows
silly.
the softer side of the asshole. You know, I made a little Dr. Seuss rhyme there. Hey.
No, I think you're spot on, Byron. I think you're spot on, and I mean that's something they've done in other songs, maybe not quite as well. There's a bit of that maybe in Mondo Nihilismo, but I think it sort of reaches its pinnacle in dance, and it's a bit more artful in that song. And Rob's delivery of that line in particular is fucking it's from another
frenzied
planet.
Yeah.
It's frenzied,
An issue with that part is that it's the silliness of the line. That it's like it's so dark, it's so heavy. The song is so involved in like a disturbing thing, but that line at first listen is like, that's too light. That's too like silly.
It's
like,
uncomfortable.
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's also like funny in kind of like a not funny way. So it's like that's where I think it's divisive. Where it's like when you hear it, you're like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that line.
These Adam and I often have conversations about what it is that I'm going to be singing in songs and why. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, if there's a line where Adam's like, that is stupid, he will tell me. And I'll do my best to change it. We might have an argument about it, but I got to be able to back it up. So that's how I would back up that line 100%. It's like, you couldn't deface, I mean, this is his child that is being spoken of, that this guy is talking about. And so it's, yeah. But moving on, Ashes to Ashes, I love their stuff off Outstart. There's all the way back.
You just said Ashes to Ashes?
Ashes to Ashes, I love that song.
I was just gonna bring that up, being like that is to me it's like Outspart is like sometimes get like, you know, there's so many monsters on there, and Ashes to Ashes is a song I always go back to. The fluidness, the power, the lyrics, where Rob to me reaches a pinnacle on that song of being like running the stage as like, you know, it's his theater that you're stepping into, and it's so late in their career that it's like, it's, you know, it has this whole different animal to it. But that's funny that you said that, Byron, because that's a song to me that is like, it hits me every time where I'm like, this is fucking power, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, total power, raw power. And then, of course, Real Love.
Yes.
That's one of Jordan's jewels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love that song. Yeah.
Love that song.
You've covered some of their songs in your sets, haven't you? Didn't you play, the fuck did I see you play? Haven't you played? You didn't do, or did, no?
No, we played
with John. Byron and I did with John.
No, I mean like when I saw you guys.
Hans and
we
I
did
played. We
Graveyard Shift.
Yeah.
And we did a Hanson Brothers tune years back, but not anything more than that. And then John played with Byron and Adam and played
and Ford,
kind of a fun Victoria show, and Ford. That's right, and Ford. Yeah. And did a whole whack of tunes, really spanning all bands, kind of Hanson's, even some Invasives and No Means No, and you guys did some covers. Yeah, it was quite.
Yeah, the whole thing's on YouTube. It's if you look up Scott Henderson's 60th birthday party, and it's the non-invasive.
That must.
And it's a
Holy
stage.
Shit.
There's a camera and it's like a board recording, and John and Adam and I play a bunch of. Hans was set to play the gig, but then I can't remember, the date got changed or something happened, and he couldn't make it. And we were like, John, you want to, like, you're going to be there? And he was like, yeah, okay. So we, like, rehearsed, like, once or twice, maybe. And we did a bunch of Invasive songs and then a bunch of, like, Ramones, No Means No. And it was wonderful.
Hanson Brothers too, I think.
Hanson Brothers. Ford Pierre joined us on stage for a considerable amount of that set. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's really fun. So go check. Put a link to that in there, too.
Yeah, no shit.
I've never seen that.
Will do. Yeah, no shit.
Totally.
Yeah.
No shit.
Totally.
Nice. Well, Byron, you sort of started it out. If you guys had any bones to pick with us, I'd love to hear about it.
That was one. The other one was it's funny.
The stinky pinky bone. Okay.
That was one that's been sticking in my ass, I guess I could say.
Your
Well, there was the Adam and I actually discussed, because this I love is to open up this conversation, and it was Mansion in the Sky versus Slade.
Yeah.
What Slade says. And Adam and I are both more partial. Let me speak for you, sir, Adam.
Go ahead.
But
Go ahead. We had the conversation.
The way that we kind of ended up looking at it, because I was like, Mansion in the Sky is like a monument of music. And to me, that song, the fucking drum.
The drums Jesus.
It's bananas. It's bananas. And just how it goes through, where that song goes musically. And Bill Johnson is playing the slide guitar on the end there from Removal. Really great. Yeah. And that song to me, I couldn't, I had to go with that instead of Slade. Slade is way more the classic and says something entirely else. But it was that, I had to go with the music on that one, because for me, that's the one that I'm like, I can imagine playing what Slade says, but I can't imagine wrapping my head around what you're going to do if you're going to, let's cover Mansion in the Sky. Let's just throw that one
you
together.
guys could do it. You guys are so fucking tight. Come on.
I don't know. It's like I said on that episode, like I actually can't really even follow what John's doing. It's so from another planet and it washes over me, but I can't, my consciousness isn't fast enough to really understand what's happening.
Yeah, I've seen John. I've met John. I've drunk a beer with John. I'm pretty sure John actually only has 4 limbs. So sometimes it just doesn't really track. Yeah.
Where that song comes out of the whole bridge section, in the pure land, and it just goes, and the drums like, and just the two brothers for that second before the guitar comes back in. It's like, okay, like what's why do I even try?
Yeah.
It's so great.
Did you guys see him play that live? I don't think I ever.
I mean, I've. Oh no, they play it all the time. I play that all the time.
I didn't.
Actually, Adam,
I'm trying to remember. No,
I didn't remember seeing that live. No, those guys said it happened, which means that it did.
Yeah.
It totally happened. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's something that's so interesting to me for your guys' perspective and what, the songs you love and stuff like that is you more than most, you have seen them play. Yeah, no, I love that. You guys have seen them play live so much. You guys have gotten to sit there and bask in all of these, well, not all, but so many of these songs night after night. And they're one of those bands I could imagine where that probably never got old to just get to see them play that music over and over again. I can't fucking imagine.
But it's interesting. It's like there they are, the players that they are, and we get to see them. But it's it's the last 10 years basically that they were touring hard and playing, that we got to see them so much in. And so for even me to turn on a YouTube video from '94 is just as exciting for me as it is somebody. Like seeing Tom like freshly coming in, or going back a couple of years, and it's like '89 in Germany with Andy. It's just like it's so exciting for us to watch that stuff too.
Sure,
knowing befriending and knowing these guys in the time that we did. It's like the history is as mythical to us a little bit.
Yeah.
They're just so nice. They're so nice. And it's just like the icing on the no means no cake of how cool they are. And approachable and kind and humble.
Wonderful people.
I would think.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it by the music that those guys make. You wouldn't think it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
I have met them, and it's wonderful.
And it's strange because even though you wouldn't think that from the music, there is something in the music which attracts that kind of person. Almost everyone I know that's into No Means No has been a really good human being, more so than almost any other fan bases. And that's something that brought us together to do the podcast and something we've clearly talked about on the pod. But how strange is it that such a ostensibly dark band actually attracts people of really good character and really kind people. It's a weird sort of, I don't know, it's not an oxymoron, but it's a weird paradox, if nothing else.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, Invasives kind of, to me, seems to garner a similar sort of fan in some ways.
Right.
A little bit more thinking fan. So I'm wondering whether, having, operated your band kind of in parallel and also being a fan of No Means No and being friends with No Means No, whether there's anything you think that might have kind of unified the community of people that you talk to or who are passionate about the band, other than love of the band, things that fans have in common between your fan bases, or I don't know. I feel that when I go to those shows, like nobody's probably gonna challenge me to a fight or whatever. Just like I can talk to anybody or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fights weren't something that happened often at those shows. And
No.
it is that thing. I think that it attracts. I think, but at least I can only speak for myself. It attracts like the disenfranchised, and it gives you something in a bigger picture that you can. It's like, what is it speaking to? And it's speaking to like the human condition and like all these pieces that are outside the scope of what a usual punk rock song's about. It's like, I fucking love, Fear, but it's like,
the band.
what? Yeah, Fear the band. Yeah, no, I just like being scared.
I love Fear.
I like to be scared.
But it's that thing where they kind of give that piece, and it's like the timelessness of it, and you can nerd out on it because there's a lot there that is left a mystery because you can't just sit down and play the 4-chord song. So
I think like with what you're saying too, it's like they're a band that's like, there's a music nerd aspect to it, but it's also like, in order to keep coming back to the songs, they add so many layers into their, like, lyrically and musically, that you have to have a certain kind of emotional intelligence to be like, I really want to keep listening to this. Like, this really resonates with me. I want this. Not that it's like more emotionally intelligent. It's a certain kind of emotional intelligence.
Right.
So that's where I think like it attracts a certain kind of person to be able to understand that and be like, I feel this. And so when you're in a room full of No Means No fans, like it takes a certain kind of person to really be there for a reason. Right. And want to be there. Yeah. Which is really, really unique for a band, especially in like a rock or punk aspect. It's like, fuck, who does that? It's really strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I've said, we all know a big secret.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sure. I mean, you guys, No Means No's played with all different kinds of bands, but Invasives kind of become, a little bit more tightly associated with No Means No, along with, I don't know, the Pack ADs a little bit like that, Removals like that. So yeah, it's an interesting
the Victims family is like
the
band that I always think of, who I love. I think are incredible. There was something else I was going to say, but that's how my brain works. Next.
I think I interrupted you too. Sorry, I just was wanting to add to what you're saying.
It was something that you were saying. Oh no, I remember what it was. It was the stuff that Andy is adding on the show. I've never met Andy. I've always thought that his contribution to the band was fucking amazing, and to have him add this stuff on your guys' shows, the little coaches corrections or whatever it's called. It's great.
Coaches corrections.
Yeah. Is it Kerr's corrections?
Is it
corrections? Andy's corrections.
Corrections.
But that's amazing, and so
it's completely organic, and it's simply because he's like a very generous and gracious fellow, and happens to be listening to our podcast for some reason.
Nice.
Well, hi, Andy. Hope to meet you someday.
Okay, so your last release, Just Another Under the Sun, 2016, 17, those years melt together for me. 18, okay. So, Byron, you told me that you guys have a new one coming up. Do you want to talk a little bit about the plug?
Yeah, we got one in the can. The album is called Abstract World. If anybody's see where you can find where that comes from, but it's something that we're currently working on, and the three of us were discussing the mixes last night. So we're happy with it. It is I mean, how many bands are going to have a COVID album? I don't know, but you can lump us in there with that. Yeah, it's sort of a continuation of what it is that we've been doing and trying to always be progressive, not in the world of music, but just in what us three guys do and trying to challenge ourselves and have fun. And it's definitely been as enjoyable as it always is to be hanging out with these two guys and making music and having some laughs. We've been recording at the Noise Floor on Gabriola Island. And since this is a shout out to Jordan, thank you so much. And Terry, you guys are wonderful. The first day that we got there, the power went out for the whole island. And this is like months back when. So we were setting up at 11 in the morning. Power goes out. Guys, you can't record. And we're like, well, what are we going to do? Well, I guess we'll drink all of this alcohol that we brought to last us the weekend so that when we wake up after like 2 hours sleep, that then we have to track twice as much that day. That's exactly what we did. And but I was very happy.
I bet it sounds great, though.
you can't hear it on the record, but oh boy, we were trying everything to right ourselves that morning.
Cold compress on the head.
Oh, good.
No, I think Adam's cold compress was like a handful of mushrooms.
That'll do it. That'll do you.
Yeah. So
I heard if you stick your pinky up your ass, it'll help you.
Oh, that's a good one. It's a good little wakey up. That's a pitter patter. Nice. Do you? So I know, and clearly all your stuff's on Spotify. People can stream it, but do you have a preferred place where people can actually pick up your albums? Because probably get dick all from Spotify. I know artists don't get much from that. So where's the best place? Where's the best place for people to get stuff?
If you just go to our website, invasives.ca, and you can kind of link through there to our store, and everything's there that we have. And a lot of things are out of print or not currently available in a physical format. But what we have is all up there. And please check it out. Totally.
Do it. Well, and listeners, if you don't, I'm sure most of you, almost all of you probably fucking know Invasives. But if you don't, fucking check it out. Matthew and Michelle have been longtime fans. I'm a new fan. Like I was not exposed to Invasives. I did not know you guys very well. And the music is fucking incredible. And my 16-year-old, who is probably about 3 or 4 years deep No Means No fan and considers them his favorite band of all time, is also a huge fan of you guys. So you have an up and coming, fan base as well. So anyone out there who has not grokked them yet, absolutely need to fucking check these out. Really amazing fucking stuff.
Right as hell.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
For sure.
Oh my God. Land's sakes.
Really appreciate that you would want to have us on and have a chat here. We're a fan of the
Absolutely.
podcast. Absolutely.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. This is fucking great.
Yeah,
fucking
amazing.
great.
Thanks so much for making the time to come on. And you guys are getting busier despite all the COVID isolation and everything like that. And we really appreciate you on this balmy Vancouver night.
Yeah, it is hot, isn't it? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Sure is.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. As Adam said, thank you guys. Keep doing the big work.
Yeah, we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying till they won't let us do it anymore, till they shut us down somehow.
We'll
At
keep
this
listening.
pace, it's gonna. Yeah, good. At this pace, it's gonna take about 3 years before we get through it. So we'll have to see.
Man.
Something like that.
I told you we can end it already because the best
No.
song already came through.
Yeah, fuck that. Nope.
Yeah.
That episode hasn't come out yet, Michelle. You can't. You can't say
shit.
that. Spoilers. Spoilers. Spoilers.
Whoops.
That's just somebody made it to the end of this.
Yeah, and she's wrong anyway. So anyway, everyone, thank you for joining us. I really hope you've enjoyed this bonus episode. I don't know when we'll have another one. It'll be hard to top this one anyway. But in the meantime, we'll have another one coming out next week. And just remember, you got to rise up an octave.